Hi, everybody, and welcome to another live session with ApplyBoard. Thanks for listening in today. Today we'll be talking to one of our top partners, that is the University of Bradford. So today I will be joined by Dr. Irene Chu as we're talking about the application process for the business school. Hi, Irene, how are you?
Hi, Ross. I'm very well, thank you. Good afternoon from York, England.
Great.
To whoever you are,
we'll have,
wherever you
we'll,
are.
this will be viewed by students from all around the world. So that's great. So what I wanted to do today is, as I said, talk a little bit about the application process. One thing I'd like to say first is a big congratulations to Bradford, because yesterday I was at the Times Higher Education Awards in London, and Bradford School of Management, the University of Bradford, was given Business School of the Year at the Times Higher Education Awards, which is absolutely fantastic. So congratulations, Irene.
Thank you, Ross. It's wonderful news, and we've been working so hard, especially the past year, and listen, pandemic happened, but I think everyone from the school management, I'm sure, everyone from the university wise also working so hard, want to make sure, students' learning experience really it wouldn't be sacred, by hard down or sacrifice too much. And so it's really wonderful news. But, last year we also been named by Time Higher Education as the most University of Inclusion of the year, in UK. So you
Fantastic.
kind of see that coming, isn't it? They've got very good record.
That's it, exactly.
So it's
So,
great
so
news.
if for any students who are listening in and not sure about how important that is, it's an extremely competitive award, and the Business School of the Year says itself really how important it is. It's a very, very, very wonderful achievement. So a big congratulations to everybody there. It
Thank
means
you.
that the business school is one of the best in the country and really highly regarded. In fact, it's triple accredited already, which is an extremely rare accolade anyway. In
Yeah.
fact, Irene, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the business school and give us a bit more information about that before we start talking about
Yeah.
application process.
Thank you, Ross. And University of Bradford is in West Yorkshire in UK. And probably not many of you hear this if you are not from UK. It's a middle-sized university, but we got a very good tradition. And school management is actually one of the youth institutions in UK having this MBA degree. I think it's actually established since around 1960 or late 1960. So we got this very good tradition around very good MBA program. So we've been named as the best value. Again, Financial Times for the past couple years in the distance learning MBA program. So we got this triple crown status, which is a very unique. Only business school around the world, only 1% of business schools actually. So it's less than 100 institutions all over the world being given these three very unique prestige accreditations.
That's brilliant. Yeah, it's very rare. And as you mentioned about the fees too, something to point out, it is very reasonable cost for the quality. So for students, that ends up often being a very good return on the investment, which is of course important to a lot of students now. So actually, Irene, can you tell us a little bit about your background as well and how
Sure.
you came to be at the university?
Sure. I'm originally from Taiwan. Then it was in very early 2000, I came to UK study my MBA degree again in north of England. Since then, actually, I worked in the corporation in Taiwan. Then came to UK as an international student. After I finished my MBA degree, actually it was very interesting, and I can change my career into academia. So, from about 2008, then being involved in higher education, finished my PhD degree, as a part-time learner. Then, and very fortunately, came to work for Bradford. I am assistant professor, I specialize in business ethics and cross-cultural management. If you are interested, you can look my profile from University of Bradford. I have some publication in top journals like FT50, Journal of Business Ethics, and British Academy Management, so on. I'm also the program leader for MSc International Business and Management program, and it's become very popular program. So for the total numbers we're gonna have is actually next January, actually 250 students for this program. It will be one of the biggest programs among university. School of Management at the moment providing 14 MSc programs. So if you are interested, again, go to our university website to look about MSc Business Study programs. You can see various programs there. And MSc International Business Management, my program, fortunately, is very highly demanded and popular. So we must do something right.
Absolutely. Okay, great. So in terms of the application process then, for a lot of international students, I think they get, there's a lot of maybe misinformation flying around about what makes a good application. So maybe you could say to us a little bit about what is important for the application, what the student needs to do to apply, and maybe any differences between undergraduate and postgraduate.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Application form, I think firstly and ultimately is really read questions carefully and make sure you answer the question. I think people will say, oh yeah, of course I read, but when we go through the application form, because I am in charge of MSc program, so I can tell you a bit more my personal experience in terms of reviewing application forms. I think especially when coming to I think probably the differences between BSc and MSc program or the degree is actually MSc students, when you apply very especially top, very good institutions, you need to attach your CV. And also on the application form, usually will have a question is called personal statement. Okay, so I think for undergraduate degree, you probably don't need to do this. But again, depends if you are international student, you want to apply other institutions, different countries in North America, in Europe, you may be asked, do something about personal statement. I think like personal statement, to be honest, as far as I know, especially with top universities, they all want to see that kind of personal statement, because that is the kind of a document or evidence to show why you are you be so outstanding and why we should, choose you, select you, welcome you to study with us. So, and I think with that personal statement is vital. If you don't mind, Ross, then I would spend a bit time to talk about why personal statement is so important and how to make personal statement.
Please do.
I think usually some applicants actually being misled by the words personal statements. So when we read, when I go through the application form, and very often, especially from international learners, they start writing about almost like an autobiography. But that is not what we want to see. What we really want to see is actually what make you want to come to study our course or our program. So what really motivates you? So for example, you may want to say something like this in the very beginning. Say, after I finish my undergraduate degree or after I finish my master degree in somewhere, I've been working for a few years. And now I'm very interested to being an entrepreneur. And that is why, and I start looking for any program will enable me in the future. I can run my own business. So this is kind of we call motivation. So this is why you want to study a master degree or MSc degree with us. So how this course will benefit you. Okay, then how does this course or program will fit your skill set? And then that is a how. And more importantly, if you're very ambitious, you want to go to, you aim high, like I want to go to very good institution like a triple crown, like a Bradford, for example. How can I make myself stand out from all these, applicants? So this is where you have to think really carefully. If you have any working experience, or you may say, oh, I finished my undergraduate, I don't have much working experience. So think about any extra curriculum activities you've done before. So what kind of skills, teamwork, player or team leaders, and how those experience actually make you become the person you are, and you come to do the program afterwards, what you contribute. You can contribute to your peers in the university, in your department. Then what gonna benefit your future career? What is the inspiration? So this is what we when we look about personal statement. It's not about like I grew up in Taiwan. I've been working 20 years in private sector. Then I decide I need to get my degree. Yes, I think in some ways you need a bit personal reason to make you, but that is not the main bit. Really, the main bit was actually want to see kind of like this kind of academic, experience and knowledge, and even with your working experience or extracurricular activities inform you to make you decide you want to come to start this course, and you can contribute to this course, and you will do something for your future career.
Fabulous. That's great. And in terms of the length, Irene, how long do you think these personal statements should be?
I think 250 to 300 words would do fine. So you see, depends. And sometimes you will see students actually make the statement is about, I think 1.5 page. That is probably the length, about 400 or 500 words. But it's actually, what exactly do you want to say? What I've learned as an international student, when I came here and the first year I did my foundation degree and study English. As you may notice, my English is not perfect, but then when I apply my MBA course, this is how I realized and I learned is actually writing personal statement is like writing a mini essay. So you got to have an introduction. In some ways, it's like a very eye-catching introduction. As I gave you example, what motivates you come to study this course. So, it's actually after working for so many years in public-private sectors, and I feel I have to advance myself in terms, go back to get, do MBA degree, enable me to pursue, the managerial role. So I feel I have so much to give. So this is a kind of, you call eye-catching introduction. You draw reader like me who actually goes through the application and say, this is very interesting. So the next is actually you talking about a bit what you learned from your past education.
Right.
And then I think that working experience, if you have that, is really plus and make you really can be outstanding in coming to study MSc, like master degree. So you have to think, say, what are the key points I can almost like show off? I've done such brilliant, things in my career. So, for example, you see that on CV, you will say, okay, for 1995 to 2000, I work in this organization X, not as list position. That is one sentence, and you are in charge, blah, blah, blah. So it's one sentence, right? But think about that one sentence on your CV, you can actually write about a paragraph to summarize what is the highlights of that during that period, what was the best thing you can do. So as my job as an executive assistant, then I actually summarize, coordinate, integrated with all the directors' plans. So, and I also summarize everything weekly to headquarter, pastel analysis, something like this. Then that will actually kind of showing reviewers, wow, really interesting. So in the end, then I think that is just how you kind of make yourself outstanding among competitors.
So do you think then if a student, for example, has maybe a slight couple of percentage points less for the requirements to enter on the course, but they write a very good personal statement, can this help change the minds of the people in admissions?
Definitely. If you look our university's website, we want at least like 2.2 or 2.1. That's why you look see 2.1, from many university entry level. But some students say, I didn't have, this 2.1 level or first or distinction, or, I didn't study very hard when I was a student in university. Doesn't matter. It's okay. I think that's one thing brilliant in UK institution. We give you opportunities to show you from if you have any working experience. That's how make it up. If you have a couple years working experience, and if you write well, say what make you motivate you come back to study. What is your future plan? What is aspiration for your future career? I mean, that really, if you do well, and that really helps.
Absolutely brilliant. One thing I'll say myself, actually, I suppose on a slightly more mundane level about these things, but I used to work in a university myself, and sometimes the students would submit these personal statements and they maybe hadn't checked them properly. Like there might be some spelling mistakes, and in fact, in a few cases, what you'd actually see was they would apply to the university I was working at, but they would include the name of a different university in the statement.
Exactly. Yeah. This kind of little things show how how much you care. I actually review applicants actually saying, oh, I want to come to study marketing degree. And it's like, hello, you apply international business and management. So this is where I think little things, little details, really we have to pay attention to. And the last tip is actually being positive and enthusiastic, on your application form, on your personal statement. We don't like to see is actually being negative or criticize the organization you worked or the institution you used to study, So
yes,
that's why,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, do students need to submit letters of recommendation or anything like this when they're making an application, or references?
I think depends, in UK, I mean, a lot of cases actually in UK is actually you give referees first. Once university decides, say they're really interested in you, then they will contact those referees, or in the from undergraduate to master degree, then some of them is actually say we need 2 reference letters when you apply. So you have to again read the application form carefully, what the institution actually exactly what they want. So you have to be customize it. And I also noticed there are some applicants when they didn't actually, if you want to put referees on the application form, please make sure you get in touch. You have a permission from referees first. I think some,
Absolutely, yeah, it's important
yeah,
because if the university then contacts them and they don't respond, then that can be a big problem. Okay,
yes,
well that's fabulous. Thanks very much, Irene. That's been really useful. We've coming to the end of the session now. Unfortunately, there's probably so much more we could talk about, but just to sum that up, then in terms of the personal statements, it's really important to have them concise. Stick to the point of explaining what it is that your motivation for studying. If you can fit in any extra parts about your work experience and how relevant that would be to the course, that will help. But it's not an autobiography, so we don't want to hear all about your past and your background. And of course, as we said earlier, check it for spelling mistakes and make sure you use the name of the actual university you're applying to, because
yeah.
people sometimes copy the same one and send it to multiple universities, but be careful with that. Well, that's wonderful. So, Irene, thanks so much for your time today. Once again, congratulations to all of you guys down at Bradford for that wonderful award of Business School of the Year. Hats off, that's brilliant. So thanks so much, Irene.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you for giving me time to talk about this. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thanks very much. Goodbye, everybody.